So in this tutorial, we're just going to quickly fix something we did in the last. In the last tutorial, we checked if this guy is not the owner of this account. That is, if the user ID in session is not the same user ID of the guy that owns this account, we should redirect. And if this user is not an admin, so if these two conditions are not met, then we redirect, okay? And this stands true for the delete. Only the user and the admin can delete this account. So if you're not the owner of this account and you're not an admin, you get this error, you redirect with this error. Otherwise, you can proceed and delete. So make sure you add this to your delete method. And then the next thing we're going to do is to try and display the list of countries for the user to select. So in the user edit page, we want to display, so we'll just simply duplicate this line because I'm lazy, I don't want to type it all over. So I'll say countries. This is a list of countries. So countries, the country model, we'll just say all, and that's all. That's how we get the list of countries, all the countries in the country table, okay? So now we have the list of country. We want to make sure that the country model is imported. If the country model is not imported into this file, of course, we'll have an error. So we just want to say get the country model, so that when we do this, we can actually have the list of countries inside this variable. So the next thing, we have to pass this variable into the view. So we look for at the bottom of this method where we are passing a variable into the view. We are passing the user's details into the view, and the next thing we're going to pass is the variable. So we're going to say the countries variable, countries. This is a countries variable, and then we are dealing with countries variable. So we're just taking the list of countries and putting it to this variable so we can pass it into this view. So which means if we go to this view from here, remember we created a select box in the last video. This is our select drop down, and it had only one option. So what we're going to do is to use a for loop. In Twig, this is how you do a for loop. We just say for, we just choose a random country, or a random variable. We can just call it country just for consistency. We say country in countries, that variable that we just passed into the view. We passed countries into the view. It contains the list of countries, so we're looping through the list of these countries. So we say countries, and then we end for. Here we can say end for. So we're ending the loop here, and of course I'm just gonna press tab to move this to the middle just for nice indenting. So from here we can now have access to the list of country. We can just say country.name. Gives us all the names of the countries. Then we have to put the values there. So we can say country.value.id. So because what we're trying to select is the ID of the country. So in this select box, we're just gonna call it country ID. The reason, we're gonna say name of this box is country ID, because the name on the user column in the database is country ID. Let me show you. The name right here is country ID. So of course that's why we're using country ID as the name. And then we're just saying select country, and we have a list of countries, okay? So what we're gonna do is simply we will come here to our page and look at this. First of all, it has no content in the drop down, but if we refresh, what we're gonna get, so it's reloading, and there it is. So if we click on this, we'll see a list of countries. As you can see, the full list of countries. So a quick run through of what we just did. First of all, we just went to our user's controller and made sure that we retrieved the list of all the countries, and we passed it into the view. Then from the view, we just looked through to get it, okay? Then of course, remember that I deleted my password field because we don't want here, we want to create a separate page for user to be able to edit or change their password, all right? So that simply sorts out this section. So we now have this. So what we're going to do in the next video is to make sure that we have state and local government, and this time is going to be much shorter. I took my time to explain the whole process so you understand it. Remember, if you have any question, drop it at the bottom.